A man gets caught stealing $7 billion from a bank and says he did it for Jesus. John Michael Haskew is an unemployed man from Florida, and he attempted to steal $7 billion from a nationally renowned financial institution. He did this through 70 different wire transfers, and obviously since these were such large amounts of money, it was getting looked into and then later deemed fraudulent. At the time, someone at the bank noticed all the funny activity that was going on, what with the large amounts of money and several transactions. At first, Michael wanted to take some money to pay off his debt, but then he got hooked. Now, here's where Jesus comes in. He stated that Jesus Christ created wealth for everyone. Using this scheme, he believed that he could obtain the wealth that Jesus Christ created for him and that belonged to him. Michael is now facing up to 5 years in prison. Once he is released, he is required to pay $250,000 in fines. So after all of this, he just ended up deeper in debt. Clearly, he didn't ask himself, what would Jesus do? Hey everyone, and welcome back on this beautiful Friday. I'm Court McGinley. As always, we have some interesting, strange, and fun news stories headed your way, so let's get right into it. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind you guys to leave your questions down below for next week's Q&A. It's finally coming your way. Yeah, I rhymed. It's quite impressive. Next, it's now been brought to light that Judy Garland was sexually harassed by her Munchkin co-stars on the set of The Wizard of Oz. This is a story I never saw coming. This film came out in 1939, and during the time, Judy Garland was only 17. I want you guys to keep that in mind as I tell you about the events that happened on set. Recently, a memoir has been found that was written by Garland's former ex-husband, Sid Luft. In the memoir titled Judy and I, My Life with Judy Garland, Sid wrote, "They would make Judy's life miserable on set by putting their hands under her dress. The men were 40 or more years old. They thought they could get away with it just because they were so small." Now this doesn't seem so far-fetched, as the actors who played the Munchkins were often accused of behaving badly on set. Back in 1967, Garland referred to them as little drunks and said they got smashed every night and that police used to scoop them up in butterfly nets. Burt Lancaster, who played the Cowardly Lion, also said some not so nice words about these actors. Burt said, "Many Munchkins made their living by panhandling, pimping, and whoring." And according to the producer on this film, Mervyn Leroy, once filming Rap, the Munchkins would have orgies in the hotel and said they had to have police on every floor. This is my favorite movie, and now every time I watch it, this is all I'm going to be able to think about. The remains of missing college student Zuzu Verk have been found. You guys may remember back in October I told you guys about a college student named Zuzu that went missing after going to the movies with a group of her friends and her on-again off-again boyfriend Robert Fabin. Sadly, earlier this week the police in Alpine, Texas confirmed the human remains discovered late last week are those of Zuzu Verk. This past week, police arrested Robert on the charge of tampering with or fabricating physical evidence by concealing a human corpse. About the discovery of their daughter's body, Zuzu's parents had this to say: "It's a sense of relief and sadness, sorrow, horror, a lot of emotions run through, and they're opposite of each other in many ways. We will lay her to rest and then go after the consequences that need to be met. Our thoughts go out to this family." Next, a Cheeto shaped like Harambe is sold for $100,000 on eBay. Well, $99,000 to be exact. Yeah. Apparently there were 132 bids for this flaming hot Cheeto shaped like Harambe. As we all know, last year Harambe was shot dead by zookeepers after a 3-year-old child fell into the enclosure and he dragged him off. The original bid for this Cheeto started at $11.99, but as word got out, the bids began to skyrocket. The description of this eBay post read, "I opened up a bag of flaming hot Cheetos, and as soon as I looked inside, I came across this unique Cheeto that looked like Harambe the gorilla. eBay is still in the process with trying to connect the person who made the winning bid. However, if it does fall through, the seller has reportedly received several bids over $90,000. This owner better be gentle with this Cheeto. I mean, imagine he's about to ship it out, but then accidentally breaks off one of the legs, then all he's left with is a Cheeto that looks like half an elephant." And it's that time of the week where I let you guys know what super cool, awesome movies are hitting box office this weekend. And we have the Lego Batman movie, 50 Shades Darker, and John Wick Chapter 2. Alright, let's start off with Lego Batman movie. This movie is rated PG and it's a comedy adventure family movie. In this movie, you will hear the voices of Will Arnett, Michael Cera, Rosario Dawson, Suri, Zach Galifianakis, Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill, and so many others. So this movie is basically all about the Lego Batman. In this movie, there are some big changes happening in Gotham, and if Batman wants to save the city from the Joker, then he may have to pick up a sidekick or two to help him out. Next we have the movie 50 Shades Darker. This movie is rated 18A and it's a drama thriller movie. This movie stars Dakota Johnson, Jamie Dornan, Eric Johnson, Eloise Mumford, and Rita Ora, to name a few. So this first movie was really sexually charged, and that's pretty much all it was about. So a lot of people are really excited that this new film seems to have a deeper and more troublesome storyline. When world-renowned Christian Grey tries to entice a cautious Anna Steele back into his life, she demands a new arrangement before she will give him another chance. As the two begin to build trust and find stability, shadowy figures from Christian's past start to circle the couple, determined to destroy their hopes for a future together. Finally, we have John Wick Chapter 2. This movie is rated 18A as well, and it's an action thriller movie. It stars Keanu Reeves, Ian McShane, Ruby Rose, and Bridget Moynihan, to name a few. This is a sequel to the movie that came out in 2014. In it, super assassin John Wick is forced back out of retirement by a former associate plotting to seize control of a shadowy Italian assassins guild. Bound by a blood oath to help him, John travels to Rome, where he squares off against some of the world's deadliest killers in an adrenaline-filled thrill ride that takes the non-stop action out of the original movie to a whole new level. Alright, I'm gonna answer a few of your guys' questions now. Bori asked, will you vlog your wedding day? I love you so much. I love you too. I've actually had a lot of people ask me this question. Personally, I think I'll be too busy with the whole getting married thing, but I'll probably film some things. And we have a videographer, so you guys will definitely get a peek inside. Also, for anyone who hasn't yet subscribed to my channel, it's Court McGinley, so please head over there and check out my videos and subscribe. It would make my day. Mazeboy651 asked, Courtney, are you going to watch the new Minions movie? Of course, I love the Minions. I think they're so cute. Bob is probably my favorite. He's so cute with his little teddy bear. Melanie Sue asked, hey Courtney and Landon, what are your plans for Valentine's Day? I'm actually celebrating my 1-year anniversary with my boyfriend Richard on that day. Can you please give him a shout out for me? It would mean the world to me. I love him with all my heart. That is so sweet, Melanie. We wish you and Richard all the best and happy 1-year anniversary. That is quite a milestone. And you asked what we are doing for Valentine's Day. Well, since it falls on a Tuesday, my fiance and I are working, unfortunately. But then we have a tradition of going to a restaurant called Baton Rouge for dinner, so I'm assuming we'll do that. It's so good. And then I believe we're gonna see a movie after that. Alright, and there you guys have it. That's all the news stories I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, then please do. You just gotta click the button down there, and I'll catch you in the next one.